Today I'm only gonna speak the truth. Today I'm only gonna speak the truth. I'm gonna be like a child in everything I do. Today I'm only gonna speak the truth. Today I'm gonna build my thoughts on faith. Today I'm gonna build my thoughts on faith. I'm gonna trust that they'll take me to a higher place. Today I'm gonna build my thoughts on faith. Today I'm gonna see through loving eyes. Today I'm gonna see through loving eyes. 'Cause when you put it out there, love always multiplies. Today I'm gonna see through loving eyes. Today I'm walking hand in hand with God. Today I'm walking hand in hand with God. 'Cause when I see through God's vision, nothing here is flawed. Today I'm walking hand in hand with God. Today I'm walking hand in hand with God.
Woo, all right. Good morning. Anybody else walking hand in hand with God this morning? Yeah. I said, I'll do this just for you, because you looked at me like you didn't understand me. Is anyone else walking hand in hand with God this morning? Yeah, all right. I can't hear either, you know. Amber's always like, you gotta go to the doctor because you can't hear. And I'm like, yeah, I can. But anyway, good morning. Welcome to the Center of Unity. We are glad you're here this morning. We're going to have a great, great morning. If you're blessed, say amen. Amen. I am blessed. I'm blessed coming. I'm blessed going every minute, every day. Let's go ahead and get started on this song. Why don't you go ahead and stand up with us? We'll get a little energy flowing. You don't have to dance, but you can clap your hands. Let's go.
Wonderful, so wonderful is your unfailing love. Your love is spoken mercy over me. No eye has seen, no ear has heard
with this love, and nothing on earth is as beautiful as you. Do that again. You opened my eyes to these wonders anew. You captured my heart with this love, and nothing on earth is as beautiful as you. Beautiful one, I love, a beautiful one, I adore, a beautiful one, my soul must sing. All right, you can be seated.
All right. Well, good morning, everyone. It's good to see the faces that we've got here in this space. Know that it really makes a difference to all of us to have your energy in the room, too. And, I know we're working on our own intuitive nature. So tune in today to the dozens of people who are also joining us online so that we can feel and know their presence here with us today. And it is a wonderful and beautiful thing for all of us to gather together as we continue on this journey of ever evolving, ever growing, ever loving, ever displaying and living into the purpose in which we've come here to do and to be here on this earth. As we get ready and get prepared to embrace all that is offered to us this morning, I invite you to, and I'm doing this out of order, Nick, I invite you to join with me as we once again affirm our purpose together. And there we go. Let's speak the power of our words into it. So we are transforming lives and inspiring people to make a positive difference in the world. And I also want to extend a special good morning to any new friends who might be joining us for the first time. We're happy you're here, whether it's in person or it is online and you're just discovering us. We'd love to connect with you. There's a Connect card in the little pocket in front of you that you can fill out and place in the offering basket later in this service as your gift to us today. And you can also go to centerofunity.org/connect and put your information in there. And we'd love to keep you apprised of the many different activities that we offer here in our community. Glad we're all together, and we're going to sing again. All right.
The splendor of the King is clothed in majesty. Let all the earth rejoice. Let all the earth rejoice. He wraps himself in light, and darkness tries to hide, and trembles at his voice, and trembles at his voice. How great is our God? Sing with me, how great is our God? Oh, we'll see how great is our God. And age to age he stands, and time is in his hands. Beginning and the end, beginning and the end. The Godhead 3 in 1. Father, Spirit, and Son. The Lion and the Lamb, the Lion and the Lamb. How great is our God? Sing with me, how great is our God? And all will see how great is our God. Name above all names. Name above all names. Worthy of all praise. My heart will sing how great is our God. Do that again.
Good morning. I'm Mary, and this is Ganera, and we're on your care team. We will be in the prayer room after service for about however long you need, within reason. Daily word today is generous. I give with an open heart. I am generous.
Keeping my heart open elevates my experience of generosity. If I give begrudgingly, fearful, or not having enough for myself, I'm not being truly generous. There is joy and trust in being generous. There is joy in knowing there is no lack at the level of spirit. And my generous impulses are my way of demonstrating my faith in this truth. I place my trust in the spiritual truth that as I give, I also receive. Generosity is a spiritual practice, a commitment to fully participating in the flow of life. As I give generously, I receive the riches of grace, love, and peace. I relax into the flow of syncrecy and receive unexpected blessings. Generosity is the gift I give myself.
And from 2 Corinthians, the point is this: the one who sows sparingly will also reap sparingly, and the one who sows bountifully will also reap bountifully.
And as we have our healing prayer today, we just take a moment to pause and to bring ourselves fully into this present moment, to be that generous expression of healing energy. We send it out knowing that it will find its right and perfect home to be received in those who have submitted prayer requests, in those who hold these prayers in our hearts and minds for loved ones and others, or who give the gift of healing, of love, of knowing what's possible for our world and surrounding it in this divine love. And we invite those who are here to receive that healing energy to open themselves and receive this gift. It's all in the same flow. And we're grateful for the ways seen and unseen that it manifests in our lives and the lives for whom we pray. Amen. Who do you think you are? That was the question I invited you to ask yourself, to look in the mirror and ask the question, who do you think you are? So I ask you this morning, who do you think you are? You can just shout it out to me, or if you're online, you can type it in. I give you permission to speak. Yes. Love. Peace. Joy. Compassion. Humor. Say again, Bonnie. Precious child of God. Love in action. I love that. Power. One power. All right. Well, that's pretty amazing. I'm hanging out with some pretty amazing people, I have to say, and I'm grateful for it. As we are in the beginnings of the year 2025, I remember growing up and there was a song, in the year, and I'm like, we're here. That just seemed like, eons away, and we're here. I don't know what 2535 will look like, but it's better than what they predicted. That's what I'm going to say in that song. But we're exploring the realm of metaphysics, specifically asking those big questions. What is the nature of God? What is the nature of creation? What is the nature of humankind? And what's the nature of our relationship with that which we call God? For eons, humans have been asking these same questions, and their answers, their understanding varied depending upon the metaphysical window that they were looking through. Sometimes it was clouded and difficult to see. Other times they may have been looking more at the window than looking through the window. And from their metaphysical perspective, every culture and every religion has developed a creation story. Because that was like, how did we get here? Those who were brought up in traditional Christianity were likely taught that God is this superhuman, perfected image of man, including being an emotional being, just like humans are. And this God, at least my understanding of it was, demands our praise, needs it, wants our obedience, and because of our sinful nature, can only be reconciled with its creation through the sacrifice of the Son that he called Jesus. With the advent of scientific revolution over the last certainly 200 years, and even more so I think in the last 50, 60, 70 years, it's moving at such an accelerated pace right now, that narrative is evolving also. In the US, 68% of people identify as Christians, although only 45% actually are affiliated with any kind of Christian community. And those numbers drop off significantly when you get to the millennials and younger. And even more dramatic than this, when I was doing a little more research, only 6% of that 68% hold a biblical worldview. This worldview that had been part and the foundation of that traditional Christianity. So it tells you why people aren't as engaged, because they just don't buy. There's too much knowledge now and awareness now of how we likely have changed and evolved over time, that old story just doesn't hold water anymore for them. Just in the last century, Einstein discovered that all matter, all of creation, is energy vibrating at different levels. Everything that we have access to from our human perspective is just simply energy, including us. This is energy. Everything we can see and touch is energy. Freud also has had a huge impact at least in the US, and I'm typically speaking from the US because that's the culture that we live in. in his exploration of the human psyche. And the avalanche of studies that have followed have brought new insights into how the mind and emotions shape our human nature. And it's ultimately reshaping our creation story. It certainly reshaped the way our co-founders, Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, understood these big questions. Them and other early New Thought pioneers who embarked upon this study in light of this new scientific information that we had began to see things differently. The biblical stories became metaphysical reflections of the evolution of the soul, the evolution of humankind. It's like you can see it. It's like look at it from the large perspective and you can see how much we have evolved through the period of time that the Bible was written. And they began to see that Jesus came to teach us, to guide us of how to live into our full God potential. That was the purpose of Jesus coming onto earth. And one of the most transformative understandings that arose out of New Thought is what we call the law of mind action, or our co-creative power. And the law of mind action is a metaphysical idea that states that thoughts and feelings produce similar outcomes. And it's often expressed as thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. I know those of you who have been around Unity for a while have heard that one before. In his book, Practical Metaphysics, the Reverend Eric Butterworth takes it a step further, suggesting that incidents or experiences that we have do not cause our thoughts and feelings, that we are always in choice. Now, thoughts and feelings for the average person is a reflex process. When we like what's happening in our surroundings, we feel happy or inspired. And when we don't like what's happening, especially if it feels like it will change or impact my life, we start to feel fearful or anxious or worried. This is the perspective that life happens to me. I'm just here doing my bit, just walking my path, and all this stuff comes in and causes me to think and feel and ultimately act in the way that I do. What happens in your mind is a result of your attitudes, your feelings, and your habit patterns. Probably more so than anything else, those habit patterns. And you have the power to change your attitudes, your feelings, and your habit patterns. Your mind and your heart is your domain. And the first step in the process that he calls the art of thinking is to know that no matter what is taking place around you or even to you, you always have a choice in how you think and feel about it. Yet it's not easy to break these habitual habit patterns that we have in our life. We think they're real, so we don't even see them as a habit. We just see it as the way life is. So to begin to interrupt that and then be awake enough to make another choice is a practice that takes a lot of time to develop. To change from being a reactive thinker to a creative thinker takes a lot of will and commitment because we've been thinking in this other way for so long. Most of us were not brought up with this knowledge from the time we were young and have that capacity, have been practicing it for a long time. The law of mind action invites us into a new paradigm that beyond life happening to me, life happens by me, by my ability to choose. And foundational to this process is to understand this, and I want you to hear this, so pay attention. You are not what you think. you think, or you're thinking what you think. Think about that. You're not what you think. That doesn't define who you are. You are thinking what you think. You may have a habit of thinking that you're unworthy or that you're a failure or that you live in scarcity, but you're not those things. You are a person who has those thoughts. You are a divine child of God who has those thoughts, and you can change those thoughts. The I that thinks, because there is an I in there that's beyond our thinking, that's beyond our feeling, that's beyond our beliefs, that's beyond our life experiences, that is the one who can direct, if we allow it, all of those areas of our life. The I that thinks has the capacity to think what it wants to think and to feel what it wants to feel. But it takes a lot of practice to begin to recognize, to be aware and awake enough to even know, oh, usually we don't see it till afterwards. It's like as soon as we get done having some kind of interaction, whether it's with ourselves or other people, we go, boy, because of what I was thinking and feeling, I did not make the choice that I would have liked to make and how I engaged in that interaction. So as we take the time to move into meditation, we're going to take a little time to practice. Just a few minutes of practice during our time together. So I would invite you to just get comfortable where you are. If you're holding on to something, you can just set it aside. It's easier sometimes to bring our attention inward when we can close our eyes, or we can just shift our attention to some point in the room so that we're not receiving so much external information through our senses, and we can fully be aware and awake to this internal state of being. As you just take a deep breath with me and then let that breath go. And do another deep breath and release it. And with one more deep breath, just feel and know the I that you are within this human construct that you experience life through. And in this moment, just observe what you're thinking. You're not directing it. Just see if you can notice the thoughts as they drift by in your mind. And then see if you can shift down into your heart space, into the brain of the heart. And see if you can notice what you're feeling in this moment. Just notice. Now let your attention drift down further to the floor of your pelvic bone, to the lower part of your stomach, that intuitive spiritual womb, that place that we are connected and guided by the divine. And just notice any thoughts or feelings that arise from that place that holds the highest vision of you, that knows the truth of who you are. And take a moment, and to each part of this being, affirm again who you think you are. I am And whatever name shows up for that, speak that from your place of spiritual divine connection. And then let it rise up into your heart space and speak that to the brain of your heart. I am. And let it rise up into your mind. And speak and affirm that to all of the thoughts that might be rambling through there. Take another deep breath. And from this collective awareness of your I amness, let it move out the vibration of that into every part of your physical being, so that every cell can declare, I am. I am light. I am love. I am a divine child of God. I am peace. I am wholeness. And then see it flooding this room. Our collective knowing as a community that we are love and light and peace and joy. And then even imagining it moving out beyond this room, down into our children's wings, so that every child in there vibrates with that energy, with that knowingness, with that awareness and awakeness. And out into our community at large. And as that ripple moves faster, it is able to encompass our entire world. And we just simply rest in this space of gratitude. Gratitude for this knowing, gratitude for this moment. For this moment can become the next moment and the next moment and the next moment. And as you become aware once again of the sounds in the room and the chair supporting you and the body that allows you to have the privilege of being that channel of love. Whenever you're ready, you can bring your attention back and open your eyes. So the latest advances of brain science are discovering why it's so challenging to shift from this reactive to this responsive thinking and feeling, especially when we're in that space of fear and its many expressions, whether that's anger or worry or depression or the whole gamut of those things. When we're in that state, when we're in fear at any level, our prefrontal cortex shuts down. And the brain stem, which holds the reptilian brain, the amygdala, takes over. And this is in hundreds of thousands of years, this was how we survived and evolved. Because when there was physical danger, this thinking part of us don't need it right now. We need all of our focus on being able to activate the energy. I mean, it floods cortisol into our system. It shuts down the organs, the digestive, all unnecessary in the moment functions, and it gets you ready to either fight or flee, or sometimes we simply freeze in the moment. And so it's not easy to direct our thinking. When I say we have a choice, it's true we have a choice, but when the prefrontal, that reasoning, that awakened part of us that can see beyond and experience beyond, when that's not activated, we aren't in choice in that moment. It's that's the place where choice happens. It doesn't happen in the part of us that's simply worried about our survival. So we have to recognize that that energy of fear and all of its shades that we experience, when we're in that place, we're going to be reactive. So part of our challenge is first of all noticing when that shows up in our life. And the truth is that for most of us, we are not very often in physical fear. I mean, occasionally, yes, you're out on the road and somebody cuts you off and you have to, it's like, fears, it's an important thing. It focuses you into that moment. It puts everything, that you need to do to control this physical environment to keep you safe right at the ready. But most of the time, that's not when fear shows up for us. Fear shows up in everyday things when we're not physically in danger, and yet the mind can't tell the difference. The mind can't tell the difference between I'm in fear because I think they're about to come in and fire me versus I'm in fear because they're about to come in and beat the crap out of me. To the mind, it's the same thing. So part of what our spiritual practice is to notice when we're in fear and bring us back. Sometimes deep breaths is the best way we can do that. But another way that have been a mainstay in unity practice is something called affirmations and denials. And I know that's another thing that probably a lot of you had been exposed to before. These days, a lot of people call it positive thinking, but it's been around for 100 years that when we are awake enough to know that we're in fear, we can then redirect our thinking nature and our feeling nature to some other way of engaging with it. So typically it starts with the denial. So you want to let go of whatever has caused the fear, and then to affirm something positive. So I might say something like, this person or this event has no power over me. Notice it's not denying that it's going on. We're not saying, everybody's great, but we're saying it does not have the power over me, and then to affirm I am safe, divine love protects me. So it's negating what the physical mind and ego might have been believing in that moment, and then reaffirming who it is that we are. In our leadership group, in this book, Emergence, that we're studying, he offers a slightly different version of affirmations, and it is called 3D affirmations. So you not only say, I am, this has no power, I am, but you also then say you are, and directing it yourself, and then you do it so in the second person and then in the third person, Linda is. And sometimes you can do this in the mirror practicing it. It might feel a little weird at first, but you might say, I am a divine child of God. And then looking, you are a divine child of God. Linda is a divine child of God. Just a different way to play with them and see if that helps make some of the shifts, both to your mental, your emotional states, to bring you back to that place where you now can think about and feel about whatever the event is from a place that has the capacity to see beyond just those emotions of fear. We can also affirm our power to say no. This is another one. The author writes, it's as simple as watching TV and deciding that you don't like the program. You don't have to just sit and watch it. You can change the channel. You can simply turn it off. We each will have negative thoughts, probably daily, maybe hourly, and we've established that it doesn't mean that you're negative or bad. It simply means those are the thoughts that you're having, and that you have the capacity to say no to them. And use that power to say no, and then the affirmation to follow it up. Robert Frost shared this when asked how he remains so positive and optimistic. He says, it seems to me the important thing for creative and productive living is a person's capacity to mold and shape things. And he goes on to say that as I prepare to face each day, I do two things before anything else. He said, the first thing I do is make up my bed, and the second thing I do is make up my mind. So I invite you to try that out this week. Maybe it won't be making your bed or as you're brushing your teeth or as you're taking a shower. Focus on getting whatever those wrinkles are that you might have woken up to, thoughts that are there. Imagine that you're smoothing them out, you're cleansing them. And then bring in to your mind and into your feeling nature the awareness that you live in the allness of divine mind. It's accessible to you, and all things are possible. Or whatever affirmation you might want to use to work on shifting those habitual thoughts and patterns. In the eternal reality, there is only one presence and one power, and it's the power of God's love in you and in me. And thank you, Rory, for honoring my request to do this song again. I'm Byron.
One power, one power, one power.
There's one power, invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. One power, indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth. As simple as the love inside of you.
Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angels' wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love in you and me.
One power, one power, one power. We speak so many languages, different clothing, different colors, different names. But different is only dangerous when we forget that in the heart we're all the same. We'll remember when we close our eyes to see that such distances were never meant to be.
Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, Hashem or heaven's door. It's Mohammed, it's your mind, it's your soul or it's your sign. It's the universe or music, Mother Earth or Father Time. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? Whatever name you give it,
It's the everlasting peace. It's the freedom of forgiveness. It's the sweetness of release.
It's the joy in inspiration. It's the sunshine on your face. It's the birthright of a nation. It's the boundlessness of space.
It's the beauty of a baby, serenity, sleep. It's the anger we abandon. It's the love most deep. Oh, one power, one power, oh,
One power.
what we are
What
is
we
one.
are is one power. One power. It's
The power of the love that is forever in you and me.
It's the power of the love in you and me.
Yay! Thank you. It's one of my favorites. Well, it is our opportunity now to share of our financial good with this spiritual community, and we're grateful for all of the ways in which that good flows in and through and as us. I wanted to clarify something from our annual meeting last Sunday. And Michael, you asked the question. We were talking about this cooperative share, and you can go check that out if you weren't here to understand that. But it's basically our operating fund divided by how many committed givers or consistent givers, people who give a consistent amount every month. And I got asked the question, is that per individual or per family? And I said per individual, but the reality is, if you're a couple or a family and one person gives, we counted how many people consistently give. So if out of a couple, one person consistently gives, then you're actually giving for your family, if you want to think of it that way. So we're looking at just informing people for each person who gives what the average amount of that contribution is in order to meet the vision that we hold for what we will receive this year, which is, just for your awareness, and you can go and get a little more information, $185 per person. And we recognize that some people don't have the capacity to give that. We recognize that other people have the spiritual practice of tithing, and that results in a much greater amount of giving, and everywhere in between. So we just ask that every person who wants to be an owner and a person who keeps this energy going, for all of those who might be seeking us out, to do what you can to help us meet that goal. It's all in divine order and hands, and we know that too. Sometimes we put a little form around it, and then we just have to let go and know it's all going to unflow exactly how it should. So as we take what we're offering today into our hands and into our hearts, the greatest gift that we can offer, what we are giving to this community, is to do so with love, with gratitude, with joy, and from that place that there is enough, and that you are just part of that divine flow of giving and receiving. So with that in your heart and in your mind, let's join together and bless it. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, Father, Mother God. Yes, you can put your gifts in the big basket, receive an affirmation. We got new ones, practical, metaphysical ones. So come, and even if it's not your Sunday to share, just add your energy to it and receive an affirmation to bless you this week.
Hello, everybody. My name is Lori, and I'm on the board. And I am doing a Center of Unity update from the board. And this is Ziggy, if you guys don't know him. He's a board member, too. So a big thank you for all of those who attended our annual meeting last Sunday. We are grateful for the patience and flexibility in our first year of allowing voting members to cast their ballot remotely. We learned from it, and we will be making appropriate adjustments for next year. At the annual meeting, we shared information about our current financial position and the vision and budget for 2025. In addition, Reverend Linda gave us an update on our integral ministry practices process and a preview of where we are heading. And if you missed it, you can watch it on our YouTube or Facebook channel at your convenience. The voting member also elected 2 new members to our board of directors. We honored Barbara Luters, who completed her 3-year service, and because we were uncertain about the election results at that time, we wanted to take a moment to honor Maddie Lucido for her 3-year service this morning. Thank you, Maddie. Okay. Now, not only has Maddie served as a care team member and sang in the choir for many years, she's also served on our board of directors as its secretary for the past 3 years. And during her tenure on the board, she shared thoughts and ideas to benefit our spiritual community, voted on various motions, and most importantly, kept an accurate record of the meetings, all while displaying her unique charm, now I lost my place. Her witty humor and her compassionate nature. It's true. Maddie, you're a woman of substance and integrity, and we are honored to have her serve as a beacon of truth for the past 3 years. And so here's a small token of our appreciation. And we are grateful to both Barbara and Maddie for their board service in many ways. They share their gifts and talents with our community. So I wanted to give you this. Thank you, Maddie. Thank you. And we want to take this opportunity to welcome 2 new board members, and they are Diane Diven and Grant Trevithick. Grant Trevithick, yeah. Okay, thanks everybody.
Here's what's coming up at Center of Unity. Join Norma Crawford and others online every Tuesday at 11:30 a.m. for the Metaphysical Bible Interpretation class, where we refocus our attention on the good that God is making available to us now. Each class is self-contained. The Zoom ID is on the screen, or you can access it from the website or the COU app. Join Reverend Linda next Sunday for our community member orientation. Here, prospective community members will learn about Center of Unity and the responsibilities and rewards of becoming a community member. Everyone is welcome, and feel free to bring your questions too. Come to Fellowship Hall after service on the first Sundays of each month for a community lunch. February is a soup and salad potluck, so invite your friends and bring a dish to share. Love offerings are greatly appreciated. Join Mark and Don Morris in the prayer room at 6 p.m. on the first Sundays of each month for centering prayer. This silent prayer is a type of Christian meditation where we will do 2 20-minute sits, then spend time on a meditative scripture reading. Visit contemplativeoutreach.org for more info. Center of Unity volunteers for a community project called the Awareness Project every second Saturday of the month from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Come and go as your schedule allows. There's always something to do, from sorting clothes to working the food pantry. Are you looking to rejuvenate your mind, body, and spirit? Look no further than the Body, Mind, and Spirit Fest. This annual event is a holistic extravaganza that brings together wellness enthusiasts from all walks of life. Whether you're a seasoned yogi or just starting your wellness journey, This event is the perfect opportunity to nourish your body, expand your mind, and uplift your spirit. Tickets are 50% off for a limited time, so visit the COU website or app for more info. There are multiple ways you can make a donation to Center of Unity. You can drop your donation off at the church, mail it to our P.O. Box, visit our website, or use the COU or Venmo app. Your continued support is greatly appreciated.
All right, well, thank you for joining us this week. And Byron, you want to sing our kids in? I guess so. Here we go.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
All right, good morning, everyone. Good morning. All right, so today is the fourth Sunday in their journey through the metaphysics of Oz, and the Wicked Witch has tried to steal the ruby slippers off of Dorothy, and they have some things to share.
Today we made wands, and each grade did a single wand.
Today we watched The Wizard of Oz, and we talked about how every little detail can mean something, like how Toto represents faith, and that's why Dorothy always hugs on tight to him so she can hold on to her faith inside of her.
Today we watched more of The Wizard of Oz, except TV wasn't working, so we had to act out The Wizard of Oz. That was fun. And we learned about the yellow brick road, how it's God's path for you or your destiny. And even though it might seem already there and endless, it can still be built and it can still be written if you want it to be.
I got to play Dorothy and make this wand.
All right, and then our little ones got to hear a story about Swimmy the fish and got to make some fish necklaces and have some fishy Rice Krispie treats.
Haven't gone down there, Debbie has done an amazing job of decorating the hallway. There is a yellow brick road. We've got the witch's house and some little flying monkeys that we're going to run into later on this adventure in Wizard of Oz. So check it out down there. We're grateful for her creativity in our hallways.
All right, so let's go ahead and stand up together, join hands, and let's do our peace song.
With God as our Father.
as we go into this day, into this week, affirming and denying those things that have no power of us, affirming the truth of who we are, we go knowing our prayer for protection. We'll do it as call and response. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Together, wherever we are, God is, and all is well.